Hey, this is MassX with a brand new Lost Souls video, and we have to talk about one character you didn't probably hear talked about much, especially early in game, who to go for, and that is Lancelot. And there's a reason for that, because Lancelot really is a hard character for early game, unless you get dupes. Lancelot needs dupes, but that doesn't mean Lancelot is not freaking an amazing character and absolutely a blast to use. So once you get a set team, you're pushing content, you are now coming into the mid part of the game. Lancelot, when you pull, is a character to consider, especially once you start getting a few dupes of that character. And once I did, I was willing to now start to move this character into my lineup because she is so effective. But why is she effective? Well, she's a Knight Radiance. But let's go through her skills, okay? Her Blade of Judgment ultimate, using Judgment Blade sets the cooldown of Blazing Sword to 1 second, once only. Additionally, the ultimate skill is converted to Judgment Blade that plays without a cutscene, so it's super quick. And now you've also got Blazing Sword to 1 second. Very sweet skill right there. Damage dealt, inflict damage equal to 165% of HP, and that's one of the things that makes Lancelot very interesting. It is all about the HP with this character. She's AoE, so it targets all enemies. In the effect 1 change cooldown, after the remaining cooldown of the active skill to 1 second. Effect 2, you apply the buff. Skill will change, spell type cannot be removed, which is really nice. Now this does have a high cooldown at 37 seconds, but it is nice because of all that stuff we just talked about in that toolkit there. Now for Blazing Sword active, when Blazing Sword is activated, recover HP and gain a buff that increases ultimate skill's final damage. This buff can stack up to 3 times. Inflict damage equal to 30% of HP, forward of all enemies, the additional heal, current HP by 22.5%, and the apply buff, skill damage increase, ultimate skill damage is increased by 30%, and it can't be removed. That's the key, and this is only a 10-second cooldown, so getting those stacks is not going to be that difficult. The passive Knight of Lake, basic attacks, and Blazing Sword reduce the cooldown of Judgment Blade, so you get this play off of all of her kit that works really well, reducing the cooldowns, which is really great. Also too, the critical hit rate is also increased, so that changing cooldown reduces the remaining cooldown of the ultimate by 1 second. The effect 2 apply buff, the stacking effect increases the target's critical hit chance by 0.6% per stack, and you can get it to 20 stacks, which is really nice. And then of course you've got the Weapon Master passive. The potency of the equipment main stats is increased by 140%. Applies only to equipment with the item level 999 or lower. Either way, that's still going to give you a big boost to your character, which makes her really interesting. And her focal point, of course, is going to be HP. So you're going to try to push HP and use equipment that is going to give you more HP. I got kind of lucky with the Healing Goddess statue, opening it up and getting all that increase in HP right there, which was like in there 60%, which was really nice. Her card is really good on her. I highly recommend opening it up. You get that increased HP of 60% and ignore damage reduction at 10%, and you get that Purity passive, which basically activates when the current HP is at 10% or more. Critical damage 60%, so that is really cool. As you can see, mine is at 3 transcended. That's when I decided to start using it, because I feel she's really effective once she hits 3. Doesn't mean you can't use her sooner, but really comes into her own at 3 transcended. Specialties, of course, you would expect. I just grabbed the first 3 all HPs I could get, because that's what she loves, that's what she's going to feed off of. In training, I'm just started to push her, and that is going to be my next step, because that is going to just give her a bigger push. There's lots of HP to be had in here. You know, you can get in there 4% right there. I've already got my first 4%, and I really want to push that up. She's got some damage reduction. She's got the deployment 3, which is going to help expanding on that. So again, she just is an insanely good unit, and you can do so much with her. You can pair her up with like 4 healers and just keep building her HP and maxing it up and expanding it with your pets and just do insane damage. She has the basic costume, of course, bonus costume, the Bikini Festival, and the bonus costume, which is basically the same. So very cool stuff. A really good character. I highly recommend using it when you get into that mid game if you get enough copies of her. She's currently on my main team with Galahad, and of course my main DPSs right now with, I keep one slot that I always interchange out. But she is an absolute fun, one of the funnest characters to use, at least in my opinion. I think she's just a blast to use on the field and just lots of fun, and it gives you lots of different options that you can use when you are coming up against harder content. That's what I like about her. She's can make for some very interesting team setups. So let me know if you already have Lancelot and using her, what you think about her. I think she really is a special character out of all your choices to use, and I think she's one of the more creative characters that they currently have available out there in our zeitgeist of characters. So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.